This week on The Rock, we learn about the Students of Color Association, then shift gears and find out how the new state restrictions are affecting people. Finally, we take a look at what holiday activities can happen during quarantine.
Strong, we are the rock. We'll make the show until we drop. We'll bring you news and we won't tell you lies. Please watch the rock or we will cry. It's made for students just like you. You're gonna wanna see what we do this week on the rock. 3, 2, 1, we're live.
Welcome back to The Rock AHS. I'm Gabe Burnett.
And I'm Amy Agregard. We've got a great show lined up for you today.
Our first segment is all about SOCA.
SOCA? What's SOCA?
Well, Ali Perez and I made a story that answers that question for you.
The Students of Color Association, or SOCA, was started last spring before quarantine shut down all activities. This year, they are hoping to gain more members and spread awareness on inequities students of color experience. I spoke with Arlene Cruz, the founder and president of the club, to learn more about what SOCA is all about.
I think SOCA is really important for Anacortes because it's not a diverse school, and I feel like a lot of these topics, like racial topics, like a lot of things like that should be talked about aren't talked about, like in school or in class. So I feel like everyone's just really uneducated about a lot of things, and I know me as a student of color, I've heard a lot of things said that I think are not right, and I feel like we could really make a difference if people actually join the club and we're willing to get educated and we're willing to be allies for students of color. As long as you're open-minded and you're open to the idea of getting more educated on a lot of the issues going around, you are welcome.
If you'd like to join SOCA, email Mrs. Woodard or Mr. Andrich to obtain the Zoom link. The next meeting will be Wednesday, December 16th at 2:15 p.m. Anyone is welcome to join. For the Rock at Anacortes High School, I'm Ali Perez.
I might join. That sounds pretty cool.
Indeed. You know what's not cool, though? The new state restrictions.
I mean, they aren't so bad, and they'll only last a little while longer.
This next segment by Amy Agregard and Nathan Morgan features the mixed opinions on the new state restrictions.
Washington State is now in its third wave of COVID cases since the start of the pandemic in March. Sunday, November 15th, Inslee installed a stricter mandate that includes the closing of indoor service for restaurants and bars, indoor fitness centers and gyms, movie theaters, museums, and bowling alleys for at least 4 weeks. Indoor gatherings with people outside of your household are now prohibited unless participants have quarantined for the last 2 weeks or tested negative for the virus within the last 48 hours. With the timeline of the pandemic stretching so far, some students at AHS wanted to share their opinions on the success of quarantines and thoughts about the future.
Personally, what I think about the second quarantine is it can definitely go both ways depending on the crowd you're talking to, definitely. Because there's some people that are going to say yes and some people that are going to say no, and then in reality there's always going to be those people that are going to say why do we need a second quarantine, and they're going to do what they want to do even though they are not supposed to. Yes, there are the things that you got to think about, like yes, there are family that you obviously want to see them, but there are the things like businesses that are starting to go out, and that's not a good thing, especially for the community around a small town like Anacortes. But family is family and businesses are businesses, and that's two totally different scenarios you got to think about. So
some students who filled out an anonymous survey said that the second quarantine will work if people comply with regulations and wear masks. Others said that anything to slow the spread is a step in the right direction, and others still claim that the negatives of quarantining, including suffering mental health and tanking small businesses, outweigh the pros, especially with a relatively high survival rate. With so much unknown in our futures, all we can do is be patient. For the Rock at AHS, I'm Amy Agregard.
Will these restrictions prevent typical holiday activities from happening?
I think only some of our holiday events are going to continue as usual this year. Joni Umayam and Elijah Huerta made a segment all about it to answer our questions about this holiday season.
COVID-19 has affected many holidays in 2020, and unfortunately, December will be no different. But while there are more limitations this year, there's still many holiday festivities that you can take part in while staying safe. Here's a few activities that you can do this holiday season during quarantine. Christmas tree farms. Many people nowadays will just buy a fake Christmas tree from the store. But if you want a more authentic Christmas tree experience, try cutting down your own tree at a local farm. Shoe Farms, Henderson Holly Farms, among others, are a few great options near Anacortes. Just make sure that you're wearing a mask when in a public setting. Christmas decorations. You really can't go wrong with just driving around town and looking at the Christmas decorations. The leadership class is soon going to distribute a guide to the best decorated houses in Anacortes, so keep your eyes out for that in your email in the near future. Virtual events and activities. While in-person events have been mostly canceled due to COVID-19, there are many virtual alternatives happening soon. A great example is the Celebrate the Holidays event, which takes place from December 1st to 12th, offering a number of fun activities and auctions. Also, the ASB class will be holding a cookie decorating contest similar to the Halloween art contest in October, with more information coming soon to your email. Christmas movies. Finally, there's nothing quite as simple and effective for the holiday season as watching Christmas movies, either by yourself or with some loved ones. Netflix, as well as other streaming services, offer a number of holiday favorites, so get ready to bundle up, make some cocoa, and watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey on repeat. With all this in mind, please remember, your safety and the safety of your loved ones should take priority over everything else right now, since the season of giving doesn't really make giving people COVID any better. Whatever you plan on doing, make sure you're taking the proper precautions to do so, and have fun. This has been Joni Umayam reporting from The Rock. Stay safe and happy holidays.
I'm so glad we can still celebrate this season.
And the community is still holding a virtual tree lighting ceremony tomorrow night on Facebook Live. Check it out on the Chamber of Commerce Facebook page.
Well, that wraps up our show for today. Thanks for tuning in.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email them to therock@asd103.org. We always love your input.
With that, I'm Amy Agregard.
And I'm Gabe Burnett. And from our rock to yours, have a great day, AHS.